like to be included in that discussion with him. I've been talking with him for a couple of years now, and told me he needs to come forward finally. I know the city put that TOD on his piece of land, and I know it's hurting him trying to move it and do some different things. Also, would like to convene a committee, a subcommittee of the council, and do a potential ethics council conduct violation of the council code of conduct. Take a look at some potential allegations with that. So,
could you repeat that? I missed that. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I would like to convene a committee to look at potential violations of the council policy of conduct.
Sir, I'm not sure what you're looking for, a 2x2 or to do?
A 2x2, a subcommittee of the council.
To investigate a council member?
Yeah, potential violation of the council code of conduct.
Comments?
I mean, I think everybody needs to be held accountable. Obviously, I was made held accountable. I know that for sure. I think things are better done behind closed doors. I'm willing to, review anything, and if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And if there is, then we have to do it appropriately.
Mr. Davis?
I guess I'm torn a little bit because I see the justification of what you're after, but we don't have a policy in place, and we've had that conversation here about the council. Our ethics policy is a voluntary policy, so I guess I need a little more detail.
Well, it is a voluntary policy, but certain things arise to a level, and I agree, and we've all said a lot of things before during our previous council meetings, but at some point, if a violation does occur at a certain level, I think it's something that has to be addressed depending on the level of that. And one way you find out is take a look at it and examine it. And I've had a lot of requests from folks in the community to look at it, and just you look at it, if something there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. I mean, there's no pre-planned agenda ahead of time, but I think it's something that we have to look at just because of the nature of the allegations in my mind. So that's why I'd just like to convene a 2x2 to take a look at it.
I don't agree with that, because I remember emphatically how this council said that we are not and do not wish to be in the position to oversee each other up in this council. We are our own people. We answer to the people, and I don't see a charge. There was a charge. It was dismissed. It was unfounded charges by the district attorney's office. I don't know where you're going with this, sir, but I do know that I will not sit up here and judge my colleagues. I can't do that.
Well, I think no one's trying to judge.
That's what it is.
No, it's not what we're trying to judge, and I'm the one that brought it up, so I know what I'm talking about.
Well, so do I. I just don't agree. Sorry.
Hold on, Mayor, I'm talking. But what the issue is that we've talked about different things before and issues, and I agree, I don't want to say judge somebody else, but at a certain time, if allegations arise to a certain level, and obviously we can't envision every different thing, but they arise to a certain level of that, I think it needs to be looked into. And it's not political or anything, but take a look into it, because we are up here, we're elected by the people, and there comes a point. There's no teeth, but still I think we owe it to just take a look at it. And that's all. There's no hidden agenda, but some of the things that I've heard and I've been appraised of, it concerns me. And I think it needs to be looked at to determine that.
Well, I guess I'd go back to Councilmember Davis's point, is you're going to convene a 2x2 and look at it, and then what?
Make a determination.
And what's the determination going to be?
Whether there was a violation or not.
Okay, and then what?
We'll proceed from there. I think we just take a look at it. To me, there's nothing wrong with taking a look at it and examining it. I think it's healthy.
I think it's not. I think exactly the point that we made last go-round was we weren't going to sit in judgment of each other, and that it is a voluntary policy. And so what you're going to make a determination about something and then do what from there?
I think at some point there has to be a level, and obviously it rises up. And if it approaches that level, then I think it warrants it. And the majority of things are not going to warrant that. I'm in agreement on that. But there can be an occasion when it rises to that level where you need to take a look at it. So that's my proposal, to have the subcommittee take a look at it.
Vice Mayor Detrick.
Susan, from one area I don't know very much about is censuring or anything like that. Do we even, with the general law city, what, if any, options do we have?
As we've discussed previously, there are no options to censure. You don't have that power. More importantly, in order to do that, you would have to conduct essentially a due process hearing of whoever you're talking about or to before you could have the censure, even if that were possible. But there's no censure. There's no teeth behind these findings.
Prior to your arrival here, we have taken action. I'll bet it was more, a statement more than anything as far as having teeth to it. So it has happened at the council level. And I talked to you earlier about this.
Right.
And obviously we have different views, and you punted on it. I know you didn't want any part of it. But like I said, as far as the council goes, and I think that with some of the allegations floating around, and I'll tell Mr. Davis, I'll say this to you, Gary, I think the nature of it, of the previous thing, to me, in my level, it was down here, but the seriousness of it is up here. So it's something that needs to be looked at. Like I said, you can say just in general, hey, we're never going to take a look, or never going to speak on certain things. But if something is that egregious, or appears to be, to me, you take a look at it and then deal with it how you may.
One thing I would say is that, and I believe this that you're talking about, Councilmember Cooper, occurred when the then chair of the meeting made threatening statements to the person at the podium, and the grand jury said.
No, you're wrong, Susan.
Oh, okay.
You're not.
I'm just trying.
Yeah.
Okay. Be that as it may, at this point, I think the question is, do you want to have this on a future agenda to create this committee, because it's not on the agenda this evening? Is that what you're asking, Councilmember Cooper?
Yes, ma'am. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I have a question for legal then. If a council member up here is at the butt of this accusation and wanting to do this 2x2 or a committee, does that person have a right to ability to vote in favor of forming this committee, or would there be conflict?
My understanding was that this was going to be a standing committee. Is that correct? Not just for this particular?
No, just for this particular thing.
Just for this
looking into
particular?
it. Not a standing committee.
Then the person involved in the allegation should not participate, because if it is just at an ad hoc specific instance or incident that's being discussed, that the person involved should not participate.
Okay.
So I would ask that it be brought back at a future council meeting to form a 2x2 committee to take a look at it.
Okay, we're not going to do it yet. We have to do some more discussion here. Councilmember Davis?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I think that the whole point of having the Brown Act is to notice items, to get public discussion, so that we can determine as a city, as a community, what we want to do. And I think we're venturing down the path, even debating whether to put this thing on the agenda a little